Imagine, you're 63 years old. You live in America. You have children and grandchildren whom you love very much. And suddenly you drop everything and move to the Philippines to start a new life with a man who is 28 years younger than you. My own daughter screamed into the phone.
Mom! Have you lost your mind? This is a disgrace to the whole family!
And today, Marco and I have been living together for almost 4 years. And even she flew here with her husband and kids and fell in love with this country. How is this even possible? Now I'm going to tell you the whole truth, from the very beginning to this day. If you're over 50, please watch until the end, because this story might change how you see what's possible at any age. Hi, my name is Linda. I'm 63 years old, and I've been living in the Philippines for almost 4 years now. I was born and lived my entire life in the United States, in California. I had a good, stable marriage. My husband, John, and I got married when I was just 22. We had 2 children, daughter Emily and son Michael. I worked as an elementary school teacher, then became a coordinator at a local senior center. Life was predictable. A house with a pool, family dinners on Sundays, trips to nature. Everything one could seemingly dream of. But 8 years ago, my John passed away. Cancer. We fought until the very end, but he just got tired. After his death, the house became unbearably quiet. The kids came, called, helped, of course, but they already had their own lives. Emily was married with 2 children and a job. Michael had his own family too. I was left alone in a big, empty house. Every day I would wake up, drink coffee by the window, watch the neighbors continue living their lives, and feel something slowly dying inside me. I started going out less, watching more TV, crying more often at night. I was only 55 when John died, but I felt like 80. It was as if life had ended. One cold January night, when it was raining outside and especially gloomy, I accidentally came across a video about the Philippines. White sand beaches, warm sea, palm trees swaying in the wind, and the people with such genuine smiles. I closed my eyes and for the first time in many years felt a tiny spark inside. Hope. I started watching videos every evening. I read stories of other women who had moved. After a couple of months, I realized I wanted to try. I wanted to live, not just wait to die. I gathered all my savings, sold our big house, kept only the most precious memories, and 2 suitcases. When I told the children I was flying to the Philippines alone and with no return ticket, it was a real shock. Emily first thought I was joking. When she realized I was serious, she started crying. "Mom, you're almost 60. It's a different country, a different culture. You don't even know the language properly. What are you going to do there alone?" Michael was more reserved, but he also said, "We're worried about you. This is crazy." I understood everything. They were afraid for me. But inside me, that little flame was already burning, and I couldn't put it out. So I left. The first few months on Cebu were very difficult. I rented a modest apartment on the second floor in a small neighborhood not far from the sea. I had to learn everything again. How to bargain at the market, where to buy fresh fruit, how not to get sick from the humidity, how to call a taxi when not everyone understands English. There were evenings when I sat alone and asked myself, Linda, what have you done? But every morning, I woke up to the singing of birds and the smell of the sea, and I realized I was coming back to life. I started walking, meeting people, trying local food. And then, about 4 months after moving, I met him. His name is Marco. When we met, I was 59 and he was 31. Yes, a 28-year age difference. He worked at a small cozy cafe near my house. Every morning he brought me my favorite coffee with a smile that lit up my whole day. At first, we just said hello, exchanged a few phrases, and then we started talking for real. That's who I am now. An ordinary American woman who at 59 left everything familiar and found a new life and love in the Philippines. If you're sitting there right now thinking it's too late to change anything at your age, please watch this story until the end, because the most interesting part is just beginning. His name is Marco. When we met, I was 59 and he was 31. Yes, 28 years younger. He worked at a small cozy cafe near my house. Every morning he brought me my favorite black coffee with no sugar and smiled so warmly that something inside me would flutter. At first, they were just short conversations. Good morning, Miss Linda. How are you today? I thought to myself, Linda, what are you doing? You're a grandmother. But his eyes, there was no game in them, only sincere kindness and genuine interest. A couple of weeks later, he asked if I would like to take a walk on the beach after his shift. I agreed. My heart was pounding as if I were 20 again. That first evening on the beach, the sun was setting over the ocean, painting the sky in pink and orange. We walked barefoot on the sand. He told me about his life, how he grew up in a small village, how he helps his family, how he dreams of one day opening his own small business. And I told him about California, about John, about the children. He listened so attentively, as if every word of mine mattered. At one point he stopped, looked me straight in the eyes and said, Miss Linda, you have a beautiful soul. I feel calm when I'm with you. I stood there and didn't know what to say. Tears welled up in my eyes. Another month passed. We started seeing each other more often. We walked, rode a motorbike to neighboring villages, ate street food, laughed. I felt alive, like never before since my husband's death. But inside me, fear was growing. This is wrong. People will judge. My children will never understand. And then came that evening. We were sitting on my small balcony, drinking cold juice. Marco suddenly took my hand. Linda, I think I'm falling in love with you. I froze. My heart was about to jump out. Marco, I'm 59. You're 31. This is crazy. He just smiled and replied, Age is just a number. The heart doesn't count years. And then I allowed myself to feel. We kissed. For the first time in many years, I kissed someone as if the whole world disappeared. It was terrifying and beautiful at the same time. The following months felt like a dream. We spent almost all our time together. He helped me with shopping, fixed things in the apartment, taught me Tagalog. I cooked American dishes for him, and he taught me Filipino ones. We traveled to the islands on weekends. But the closer we became, the stronger my conscience tormented me. I started calling my children less, because I was afraid they would sense something in my voice. I knew that when they found out, a real storm would begin. There were moments when I cried alone at night. What am I doing? I'm a mother, a grandmother. How can I fall in love with a man younger than my son? But every morning, Marco would come, hug me, and whisper that I make him happy. And I would melt again. We weren't just dating. We were truly falling in love, deeply, honestly, without masks. For the first time in a long time, I felt loved not for what I could give, but simply for who I am.
It was the happiest and most terrifying period of my new life, because I already understood. Soon I would have to tell my family the truth. And I was very afraid it would destroy everything. But I'll tell you about that in the next part. If you're going through something similar right now, or are afraid to love at a mature age, stay with me. The story is only gaining momentum. And now came the hardest period of my life. The moment when my secret was revealed. It happened about 8 months after Marco and I started dating. I accidentally left a video of him on my phone screen when Emily called on video. She saw him hugging me from behind and kissing my cheek. Mum, who is that guy? What is going on?
I tried to explain. My voice was shaking.
Emily, this is my friend. His name is Marco. We're together.
She started screaming so loudly that I moved the phone away.
Friend? How old is he? He looks like your son. Mum, you've lost your mind. This isn't a friend. This is a boy. He's using you. He only wants your money.
I sat there crying. Tears streamed down my cheeks while she continued. You betrayed Dad. You betrayed all of us. What will the grandchildren say when they find out their grandmother is sleeping with some Filipino who's 28 years younger than her? This is a disgrace. A disgrace to the whole family. Michael joined the call. He was more restrained, but still in shock. Mom, we thought you went there to rest and find peace. And you got yourself a young lover? We're scared for you. He's probably just waiting for you to die so he can take everything. I tried to speak. I tried to explain that this was real love, that Marco takes care of me, helps me, that I'm happy again. But they wouldn't listen. Emily was sobbing into the phone. I don't want my children to see you with this boy. If you don't end this madness, I won't let you see the grandchildren. Ever. I felt like I had been punched in the chest. My heart was breaking. I loved my children more than anything in the world, and now they were saying I was a disgrace to them. The following weeks were hell. Every call turned into a fight. They sent me articles about scammers in the Philippines, about romance scams. My sisters and church friends called. Everyone kept saying I'd gone crazy in my old age. Someone even said, Linda, this is brain menopause. You need to see a doctor. Marco saw me crying after every conversation. He would hug me, wipe my tears, and quietly say, If you need me to, I'll leave. I don't want you to lose your family because of me. Those words broke my heart even more. I didn't want to lose either him or my children. One night, I cried so hard that Marco got scared. I sat on the bathroom floor repeating, What have I done? Maybe they're right. Maybe I really am crazy. But in the morning,
When Marco brought me coffee and just silently hugged me, I understood. I couldn't give up this feeling. For the first time in many years, I felt like a woman again, not just a widow and grandmother. My family gave me an ultimatum: either him or us. Emily stopped replying to my messages. The grandchildren stopped calling. I felt like the loneliest woman in the world, even here in paradise. It was the hardest time. I lost sleep. I lost weight. Sometimes I thought it would have been better if I had never met Marco. But deep down, I knew. I don't regret it.
How we survived this crisis, and what happened when my daughter finally flew to the Philippines. I'll tell you in the next part. If there was a moment in your life when your family didn't accept your choice in love, write about it in the comments. You are not alone. The continuation will be even more emotional. How we survived this crisis, and what happened when my daughter finally flew to the Philippines. I'll tell you in more detail. The first 2 years of our life together were a real test. Love looks beautiful in movies, but in reality, it is tested for strength every single day. The cultural difference between us was huge. I'm an American who is used to personal space, to planning everything in advance, to the idea that home is my fortress. Marco grew up in a large Filipino family, where doors are always open, where relatives can come over at any moment and stay for dinner. I remember one evening I came home tired, and in our living room sat his sister, aunt, and 3 nephews. They were laughing, eating, and I stood in the doorway not knowing whether to cry or scream. I snapped, "Marco, this is my house. Why didn't you warn me?" He looked at me with guilty eyes and quietly said that for him this was normal, to share everything. We made up for a long time after that. I cried, he hugged me, and taught me to be more open. Financial difficulties also weighed heavily. I live on my American pension, which would have been enough for a comfortable life back home. Here, everything is cheaper, but when you support 2 people, it becomes hard. Marco earned very little at the cafe. Sometimes we ate only rice with vegetables for a whole week. I saw how ashamed he felt that he couldn't give me the life I was used to. He offered to take harder work, construction or fishing. I refused. "I didn't find love just so you would wear yourself out for me," I told him through tears. There was jealousy too, from both sides. The neighbors whispered behind my back. The old American woman bought herself a young husband. Sometimes I caught those looks and felt dirty. Marco was jealous too. He was afraid that one day I would miss my old life and fly back to California. There were nights when he asked, "You don't regret it? I will never be able to give you what your John had." Those conversations tore my heart apart. And then the worst came. I was 61. One night my blood pressure spiked sharply. My head was spinning so badly I couldn't stand up. Marco panicked, called a tricycle and took me to the nearest hospital. He sat by my side all night, holding my hand, translating for the doctors, running for medicine. I lay there thinking, this is it. Now I'm going to die, and he'll be left alone. And the children will say I deserved it. He cried quietly so I wouldn't see and whispered, "Linda, please don't leave me. I love you more than anything." In that moment I understood. This is real love. Not words, but actions. After that incident, we became even closer. I started taking better care of my health. We began walking together in the mornings, eating properly, even doing a little yoga. Marco learned to cook my favourite American dishes, and I learned his favourite adobo. We built our own little house on a small plot, our own piece of paradise.
A small garden where we plant mangoes and bananas, a few chickens running around the yard, and a hammock between the palm trees where we love to sit in the evenings.
And then a real miracle happened. Emily came. She flew in with a stone face, determined to save me and take me home. She came alone, without her husband. For the first 2 days, she barely spoke to Marco. She looked at him with suspicion. But he behaved perfectly. He cooked for her, showed her beautiful places, helped silently. On the 3rd day, we went to the beach. Emily saw how Marco took care of me, applying sunscreen to my shoulders, bringing me water, laughing at my jokes. She saw my garden, our house, heard the local children call me Lola Linda. She tried fresh mangoes straight from the tree, and something inside her broke. That evening, she sat next to me on the balcony, took my hand, and cried for the first time in a long time.
Mom, I thought you had lost your mind. But here, you're glowing. You're alive again. For so many years, I saw you sad after Dad.
And here, you're different.
A week later, she was already hugging Marco and calling him brother. And when Michael came with his family, it was a real celebration. The grandchildren ran on the beach, built sandcastles, and called Marco Uncle Marco. They fell in love with the Philippines just as strongly as I did. Now they come almost every year. We have big family dinners, and although the age difference still raises questions sometimes, love won. I don't regret a single day. It was very hard. There were tears, fights, fear, loneliness. I almost lost my children. But I found myself. I found real love. I found a new homeland where I am valued for who I am. Now I am 63 years old. Marco is 35. We have been together for almost 4 years. I don't know how much time we have left. Maybe 5 years, maybe 20.
But every morning when I wake up next to him and see the ocean outside the window, I thank God that I dared to be crazy.
If you are over 50, 60 or 70 right now, listen to me carefully. It's never too late to start living again. It's never too late to fall in love. It's never too late to choose yourself. Even if your whole family says you've lost your mind, sometimes that madness is the most correct choice in life. Thank you for being with me all these minutes. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, write about it in the comments. Share your story. I read every message and pray for each of you. I hug you tightly. And remember, as long as your heart is beating, life is only just beginning.